What's up everyone, Clayton here, and today we're back with another Skyrim build. Today's build is called the King of Thieves and was suggested by the Kid That Flies. The King of Thieves is a Khajiit thief, which is pretty self-explanatory. He will rob places, he'll steal from people, but he will not kill the targets that he is robbing from, kind of the whole Thieves Guild mantra. But let's go ahead and go into the backstory here. This Khajiit is from elsewhere, like many other Khajiits are from. He heard about how bad the Thieves Guild in Skyrim was actually doing, and since he was a thief in elsewhere, a low-level thief, no guild with him, he was just a thief trying to make by stealing from rich people. He decided to come to Skyrim, where he knew the Thieves Guild could need help, and maybe he could become the King of Thieves in Skyrim, and that's where he gets his name, and that's where the whole story of this character begins, when he crosses the border and gets caught, and figures out he's Dragonborn, which he needs his now found shouts to be able to help him become King of Thieves in Skyrim. So let's go ahead and talk about the skills that you'll need for this build. This will be one-handed, sneak, lockpicking, pickpocket, and alchemy. One-handed is your only damage ability, and you'll be using a Nightingale blade, so you want to make sure you get all the perks you can to make your sword damage do as much as it can. Next we have sneak, which is pretty important to have as a sneak character, as a thief, because you want to be sneaky as you rob people so you don't get really found out. Lockpicking is pretty cool. It has some unique perks in it that allows you to actually get more gold, and you get more special traces or treasures inside a chest, as well as a really cool one called Quick Hands, which allows you to pick locks without being noticed. Pickpocket is also important if you want to pickpocket people and steal their valuables that are actually on them. One cool perk you can get is Poisoned, which silently harms enemies by placing poisons in their pocket. I use this by putting paralyzing potions or poisons in their pockets, which actually paralyzes them. So if I rob a house, I put it in the homeowner's pocket, paralyzes them, so I can go about my day stealing their stuff. And then alchemy is, of course, how you make these potions and poisons that you'll be using in this build. So let's talk about the weapon armor that you'll be using before we talk about how the gameplay really works. So for the gear, you'll be using the Black Guard chest piece, which is a Thieves Guild variant of light armor that you can get during the Dragonborn DLC from Glover Mallory. You have to become a part of the Thieves Guild before you talk to Glover, and it is part of the Dragonborn DLC. So if you do not have this DLC, just get some other Thieves Guild chest piece that you can get, which could be the Thieves Guild Master Armor after you get to the top of the Thieves Guild. Nightingale boots and gauntlets are the boots and gauntlets of choice, and the Ethereal Crown is your headpiece. If you do not have the Dawnguard DLC that adds the Ethereal Crown, you can also get the Jagged Crown, which you get during the Civil War questline, which kind of fits in with the king to have a crown. And then for the sword you'll be using is the Nightingale Sword, which you get through the Nightingale questline through the Thieves Guild. And it's a pretty good sword. Make sure, if you can, get to it at a higher level, because this weapon actually scaled to level. The higher level you are, the better enchantment it actually has on it, which is kind of important. So let's talk about the gameplay. You are a thief, and you want to become the King of Thieves, so you'll be robbing people, houses, castles, whatever you can to get more gold and to gain more of a name inside of Skyrim. One thing with all the Thieves Guild members, you do not want to kill the targets that you're robbing. You can kill bandits, wolves, werewolves, bears, things of that nature, even the undead that you are going through dungeons to collect the gold at the end of the cave. You can kill them, but try not to kill the targets you're actually stealing from. So it's not really a whole pacifist build. You can kill targets like undead, but don't kill the targets of like townspeople that you're actually robbing. Another thing is, like I talked about earlier, the paralyzed poisons is pretty good. If someone you're afraid they're going to catch you, put the poisons in their pocket, that paralyzes them. They will not be able to attack you or to call the guards on you, which is pretty important, and that's one good way to be able to sneak around and collect stuff and all the valuables out of the house while they're incapacitated. One other thing is the shouts for this build. You can use disarm to be able to get away from people you don't want to kill who are trying to attack you. Maybe a homeowner or someone you're trying to pickpocket is attacking you. You can disarm them to be able to run away. Also, the throw voice shout is pretty good, because if there's a chest or a door that you're trying to lockpick, you can get them to go on the other side of the room. That way you can get into it and crack the safe or the lock. Also, one last thing is the stats and standing stones. For the stats, I would recommend having more stamina than health and not have any points in the magicka. So maybe some sort of 45-55 split between health and stamina. This allows you to have enough stamina to be able to do sneak rolls all the time, and you can also stay alive. For Standing Stone, you can have 2 Standing Stone effects with the Ethereal Crown, which is good. You can have the Tower Stone, which helps with the lockpicking, as well as the Thief Stone, which allows you to gain your thief skills higher, so they level them faster. So that way you can get to those thief perks faster. So you can get your sneak perks faster, your lockpicking perks faster, and so on. So if you guys enjoyed this build, and if you did, make sure to leave a like on it, and check out these 2 videos here. Also, if you want to have your builds in one of these videos, make sure to leave your build suggestion in the comments down below, and I'll hopefully get to it eventually. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and it's Clayton, signing out.